Good morning. It's early winter now in California. I just got this new plant here called the Falls Boulevard Cypress. Here's the label. The Falls Boulevard Cypress from a variety called Cyano viridis. It's a very nice cypress. I mean, actually, this is the first of this kind of plant that I have. The needles are very soft and fluffy like, and it has kind of blue tint to it. That's why sometimes they call it the blue moss cypress. It's a beautiful plant. Has a very thick trunk inside. Um, so you might have noticed that there are some browning of the leaves inside. So this is kind of a common problem actually for a fall cypress. If it likes full sun, if it does not receive adequate full sun, it's going to start dying from inside out. Makes sense because the inside of the plant is where you get less sun. And this has to be dealt with. You have to correct the condition or the plant will eventually die. So as a bonsai student, I long for having a big full-size bonsai, evergreen bonsai, kind of like the bonsai masters have, with the pines and cypress and junipers. So sometimes it's just easier just to buy a large specimen and then work on it, other than grow your own. I mean, it's a bit pricey, but you're paying for the amount of time, years. Well, now it's winter, so I'm not gonna work on this plant. So the least I could do, I'm gonna wait until spring to work on this plant. But the least I can do right now is to remove this brown dieback leaves and branches. So at least to clear it up, and this will improve the you create some space inside. It will improve the air circulation and also allow more sunlight to penetrate. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to clean it up, just remove all these brown branches and leaves, and wait until the next spring to work on the plant. There, I just finished clearing this first branch and clearing it of all the brown leaves and branches. So this is a lengthy process actually. You want to do it carefully. More to go. But it is a pity that this has happened, because as it happens with cypress and pines and many conifer plants, is that it doesn't grow new shoots, new green buds from old wood. So what this means is that this branch is going to remain bare from now on. I mean, it's very unlikely. I'm saying it's very unlikely that anything new is going to grow from here. I mean, most of the growth is going to come out from here, from the green part, but not from the old woods. So it's a pity, because then now I have less choice. I have less options when I want to work on this bonsai. So here's you do the pruning. This pruning can be a very lengthy process, but it's very calming and soothing. This is what I like about bonsai, or most hobbies in general, is that when you're doing it, you don't think about anything else, and you forget about your worries. So, well, I might as well take this opportunity to explain more about this kind of plant, the fall cypress. Not just for bonsai enthusiasts, but for gardening people in general. This kind of plant, they enjoy moist soil, so it shouldn't be completely dry. It's not as drought tolerant as you might think. They need water. Don't think that this is drought tolerant. You need to water them, but make sure that they're not in standing in water, because that's bad for them. So well water but fast draining soil will be best. And also it likes full sun, as I had mentioned before. So it's preferable to put it in, like south facing side of your house, where it's gonna get most of the sun. While clearing up the brown leaves, I did notice some branches, green branches, that are growing downward. This is not desirable for gardening trees or for bonsai also. So I'm just gonna remove this, even though this is still green, but it's just growing in an awkward direction. So for people working in bonsai, winter is usually the slow time, the downtime. There's not much you can do. You can transplant. You don't want to do any major work on your bonsais in winter. But guess what? This is one of the things you can do during winter time for your bonsai. For your, is to clean up all the dead branches and dead leaves, and prepare them for the next spring. So cleaning dead branches, removing brown leaves and dead branches will be a good winter chore. And finally, this is for bonsai preparation only. For these lower branches on the trunk, we need to remove anyway when I make it to a bonsai next spring. So it really does not make sense for me to clean these branches, because they're going to be gone anyway. So I'm just going to cut them off. The objective was to remove dead growth, not live growth. So try to do that to minimize pruning of the live growth. Well, I got a little carried away here. And trim this and trim this branch too close to the trunk. I mean, it's advisable better to do it like this, to leave some kind of stump. And the reason is because we're in the winter now. The plant might not have so much energy to recover from cuts that are too close to the trunk. It's kind of dangerous. It can get infected. Bugs can go in. So it's better to leave some kind of stump here, like that. Don't cut it all the way to the trunk, and eventually this branch, this little stump, will die, and in the next spring you can then just cut it off flat with the trunk. And by that time in the spring, the plant should be very vigorous, very strong, and can recover quickly from any kind of wounds or cuts. Okay, this is day 2. I'm doing some final checking to make sure all the brownings has been removed carefully. I'm doing this with my hand. The point here is to make sure that you remove all of them, and this will be the only way to tell if the tree has recovered or not, if you made the right choice in fixing the plant. So now that everything is removed, if after a few weeks you still see some more branch that turn brown, then you know that you have not corrected the problem. In this case, my diagnostic is that it was not getting enough sun, so I'm moving it to a place with more sun. But if after a few weeks you still see more browning, then you know maybe that's not the problem, you know, or either you still not giving enough sun, or maybe there's some other problems, and then you have to look into that. So also let me take this moment to show you the inside of the bonsai. I mean, of the pre-bonsai. I'm not going to work on it right now, but you can see this has a very interesting trunks inside. But I have a little dilemma here. You know, this is a nice looking trunk, but halfway up the plant it actually split into two trunks, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this design. You know, but I have the whole winter to think about this. So what do you think? Any suggestions? You know, I was thinking maybe an informal upright, but with two upper trunks. You know, I've seen that in nature. Or I had to remove one of the trunks. So this is as much as I'm going to do to this plant for now. Coming in spring, I will repot it and do more pruning, do more styling and pruning of the tree. For now, I think I'm just going to leave it here and then maybe make it add some Christmas lights and make it a Christmas tree.